Is there a link? Maybe not, right? I mean, if if there's a link, yeah, I'm not advertising. It's just I got a whole bunch of different colors of this. I'm not advertising them. The management is questionable, but I still appreciate the minimal support they offered me. I wanted to offer them a lot more support, but it relates to personal development, so of course it was rejected. Now, I wrote this a letter, and it was sent to these individuals. AG Minister Tamara Davidson, MLA, Fair Practices ICBC, CBC Go Public, BC Ombudsperson's Office, David Eby, Legal Department of OpenAI, Nikki Sharma, MLA, etc., claims, etc., different news channels, PSSG, that ministry. So here's what I wrote 2 days ago. Dear Road Safety BC and the Honorable Nikki Sharma, because you are the only ones who replied since June 17th, and this is Dear Road Safety BC I'm talking to, and then I put the Honorable Nikki Sharma in brackets, the Attorney General of BC, I still cannot provide you with more information because I said in the email before, when all four of you respond, not in an auto reply, it doesn't count. So I still cannot provide you with more information because you can't confirm, this first email, right, from before. As to why I have not renewed my driver's license until such a time comes, if ever, when ICBC addresses the many complaints that I'm trying to file with them. Not just recent stuff over the decades, stuff that impacts other British Columbians as well. I'm a culture repair. I'll never be hired in BC or Quebec or Ontario or Canada as a culture repair. Extremely unlikely other countries of the world as well. We're very far gone. Our tipping points, socially speaking, as a species for self-correcting, it's gone. Still, is there a link? Do I create butterfly effects when there's the coincidence or not of David Eby talking about today about mental health and addictions, improving those services because of what I talked about in my video recording that I posted on my YouTube and included in the bottom of this email as a link, that BC's institutions fail. And I would, as an expert witness in the human condition and definitely in BC's institutions, well documented over the years, including on my YouTube channel, Facebook, etc., emails, that we have failed. So to sue OpenAI is the kind of Canadian hypocrisy that fits our culture. And laissez-faire, we're not going to work enough and have the real conversations about our failing institutions because it means we're failing as a people. Now, of course, if you want to self-correct, you must admit this. You must discuss this. And you must apply recommendations of somebody like me. Now, if you don't even want to acknowledge me, but you kind of act a little bit more with less impunity because of me, because of the pressure I put on using media or emails or OpenAI, well, what if OpenAI makes Martin? What if they have him as an expert witness for days? We should pretend like we're working on our institutions. Anyways, the next paragraph. They will not extort ICBC funds from me until they do what they expect OpenAI to do. Namely, show accountability, transparency, and engage in system-wide oversight. In essence, I paid $100 to a pretty nice doctor for nothing. And of course, the testing he did is, it's not worth $100. He doesn't show like a high level of expertise, but he's not a bad doctor. He fits the norm, right? And it was signed by, one of the owners of the clinic. But I'm still grateful. But the thing is there's no real expertise shown when these forms are being filled out, right? And nobody does it the same way for testing certain things anyways. Perhaps the following video of my call to CBC's BC Today, recorded today, will shed more light on the 8th as to who you are all dealing with. A true Homo sapien, walking the talk of the definitions of sentience and sapience, who is responsible, who is being an accountable, transparent, responsible adult role modeling cultural repair oversight. Yeah, transparent oversight. You'll see who I really am and who you really are, for example, on my YouTube channel. I see BC's Attorney General as a preamble of needing to take to court the BC government due to the variety of its many failing institutions based on decades of accumulated data, including on my own efforts to seek justice, both for myself and for other British Columbians and Canadians. Thank you very kindly. My name, Martin, the Captain of Accountability. P.S. Who will the BC government sue next when similar tragedies keep occurring, but without the partial, in a slightly different color, involvement of OpenAI? And that's a good argument, right? Because, when there's other failing of our institutions and the perpetrator or alleged perpetrator doesn't use these services, then, who do you blame? And again, what I didn't mention on CBC, choosing not to mention it because I wanted my message to be heard, but guess who works for the RCMP? Guess who works for school districts and health authorities? People that are parents. And parents are failing also. Not just their own kids, but the kids of others and in their work. So parenting is a big thing. So it's a cultural thing. And again, I want to say Canada is about average when it comes to failed proto-societies. But it's one of my expertise because I've lived here for so long. And while I'm here, it's not like I'm being employed in any useful way to take away my time, so I don't have time to do things like send these emails that may or may not have an impact to how politicians that are emailed and that now see, oh my God, he's on CBC now, respond. Now, if they respond in a way that is not directly to me, as a culture repair, or as somebody seeking justice from them before taking them to court, and if it reaches the court, and I say to the judge, well, I'd like to ask everybody if they've read my emails or they've heard of me. And if so, why didn't they contact me before I filed these papers? Because that is cruel and unusual punishment to get me to have to force accountability out of all of you, including the judge that I will reprimand many times during this court case, I guarantee it. Why do you do this unusual punishment to the elusive Homo sapien? And again, my theory explains this, right? And again, these are things they never want to hear.